There are swords that cut through armor, and then there are swords that cut through history itself. Blades so mysterious, so out of place, that they make you question what ancient humans were really capable of. What if I told you one sword literally came from outer space? Another stayed razor sharp after being buried for over 2,000 years, and one is still stuck in stone. These aren't fantasy stories. They're real artifacts, found, studied, and verified. So today, we're diving into 10 ancient swords that shouldn't exist, but do. Number 10. The Dagger from the Stars. King Tutankhamun's meteorite blade. Our first story begins in the sands of Egypt, inside the tomb of a boy king. When archaeologists uncovered Tutankhamun's burial treasures, they found a small golden dagger wrapped beside him. It looked like a ceremonial toy, until modern scientists scanned it with X-ray fluorescence. What they discovered changed everything. This dagger wasn't made on Earth. The blade was forged from meteoritic iron, metal that literally fell from the sky. It contained over 10% nickel and traces of cobalt, a chemical signature unique to meteorites that predate our entire solar system. What's even crazier, this was over 3,000 years ago, during the Bronze Age, which means these ancient smiths were actively searching for fallen stars to craft into weapons. King Tut's dagger wasn't just royal, it was cosmic. To the ancients, iron from the heavens was divine, worth 10 times more than gold. And Tut's blade? It was a symbol of godhood, a weapon forged from the stars, buried with a boy who was believed to become one. Number 9. The sword that time forgot. The Sword of Goujian. Fast forward to China, 1965. Archaeologists in Hubei province open a tomb that's been sealed for more than 2,000 years. Inside, they find a sword. Bronze, elegant, double-edged, and impossibly, it's still sharp enough to cut paper. No rust, no decay, just perfection. This was the Sword of Goujian, belonging to a warrior king from China's spring and autumn period. Scientists found that it wasn't just preserved, it was engineered to survive time itself. The blade contained a unique alloy of copper and tin with a thin sulfur coating that acted as ancient rust-proofing, a technique that wouldn't be rediscovered for centuries. The craftsmanship is breathtaking. Black patterns etched into the blade, turquoise inlays on the hilt, and an inscription that reads, "The King of Yu made this sword for his personal use." A sword like that wasn't just a weapon. It was a witness to an empire, a legend that refused to die. Number 8. The Viking Enigma. Ulfberht swords. When medieval archaeologists first unearthed Viking swords marked plus Ulfberht, they were stunned. These weren't crude iron weapons from the Dark Ages. They were made of steel so pure and strong that it rivaled modern industrial metal. To forge something like this, you'd need temperatures of at least 1,600 degrees Celsius. Impossible with 9th century furnaces. And yet, over 170 of these swords have been found across Europe. The mystery deepened when researchers found carbon nanotubes inside the steel, a microscopic structure we only started understanding in modern nanotechnology. How on earth did Vikings do that 1,000 years ago? Some say Ulfberht wasn't a person, but a brand name, a mark of status, faked and forged by many, but mastered by only a few. Real or fake, these swords were centuries ahead of their time, and proof that ancient smiths knew things we still can't fully explain. Number 7. The Nebula Sword, forged by a teen from a meteorite. From the past to the present, meet Tristan Dare, a teenage blacksmith from Idaho. At just 19 years old, he forged something that looks straight out of science fiction, the Nebula Sword, using metal that's older than Earth itself. He crafted it from the Muonalianasta meteorite, which crashed to Earth over 1 million years ago. The meteorites' crystal patterns, called Widmanstenfate lines, are cosmic fingerprints, and Dare figured out how to preserve them in the blade. He added opals for stars, 24-karat gold inlay for starlight, and even carved the hilt from 20,000-year-old mammoth ivory. The result? A sword that connects cosmic history to human artistry. 4.5 billion years of creation reforged into one breathtaking blade. This isn't just a weapon, it's a message that curiosity can still make us feel like gods. Number 6. The birth of the sword, Arslante blades. Back to where it all began, Arslante, an ancient site in modern-day Turkey. In the 1980s, archaeologists found 9 blades buried in a mud brick palace. They looked simple at first, until dating revealed they were over 5,000 years old. Older than the pyramids, older than writing in most of the world. These weren't daggers, they were true swords, complete with hilts, guards, and sharpened edges. Made from arsenical copper, a rare alloy for its time, they were likely symbols of power, owned by rulers or priests. Historians believe these are the first swords ever made. They mark humanity's leap from stone to metal, from survival to dominance. From that moment on, the sword wasn't just a weapon, it was civilization itself. Number 5. The Forgotten Sword of Venice. In 2017, a grad student named Vittoria dell'Armellena was visiting a quiet monastery in Venice when she spotted an odd-looking blade mislabeled as medieval. Her gut said otherwise. Months later, metallurgical tests confirmed it was 5,000 years old, crafted from the same arsenic-rich copper as the Arslante swords. For over a century, this artifact, one of the oldest swords on Earth, had been hiding in plain sight, mistaken for something far younger. It's a reminder that history doesn't just live in museums. Sometimes it's gathering dust on a forgotten shelf, waiting for the right eyes to notice. Number 4. The Seven-Branched Sword, Japan's Iron Tree of Power. At first glance, Japan's seven-branched sword doesn't look like a weapon at all. Its blade sprouts iron branches like something out of mythology. Forged in the 4th century, it was never meant for battle, but for diplomacy. An inscription in gold reveals it was a gift from a Korean prince to a Japanese king, a gesture of eternal alliance and divine power. Historians still argue over what the inscription really means. Was it a sign of friendship or submission? Either way, it stands as a symbol of early international diplomacy and craftsmanship so delicate that even today the real sword is kept hidden, only displayed in replica form. A weapon never made to spill blood, only to impress the gods. Number 3. The Sword in the Stone, the Blade of San Galgano. In Tuscany, Italy, inside a small chapel, stands a stone. And in that stone, a sword. A real iron sword. Not a prop, not a replica. Legend says a knight named Galgano Guidotti, tired of war and corruption, had a divine vision. He declared, "Giving up my sword would be as impossible as splitting stone." Then, to prove his point, he plunged it into the rock. And it stayed. That was 1180. Today, the sword remains embedded in stone, scientifically verified to be from the 12th century. Even ground scans show a tomb beneath it, likely Galgano's own. This isn't the tale of Arthur's Excalibur. This is a real story of a man who traded violence for peace and left behind a miracle cast in iron. Number 2. The Nebra Sky Swords, and the artifact that lied to us. In 1999, treasure hunters in Germany unearthed something incredible, a bronze disc decorated with the sun, moon, and stars, the Nebra Sky Disc. Alongside it were ancient swords and axes, a whole Bronze Age treasure hoard. For years, it was called the world's oldest star map. But new research flipped the story upside down. The site had been disturbed, and the items didn't match in age. The disk might actually be 1,000 years younger than we thought. Placing it in the Iron Age, that means the swords buried with it might not be Bronze Age relics at all, but later imitations or even clever fakes. It's a humbling reminder that history is fragile. One wrong assumption, and we rewrite the stars themselves. And number 1, the first blades of civilization. So what ties these all together? From Tutankhamun's cosmic dagger to the Ulfberht steel of the Vikings, every one of these swords tells a story of human genius. These weren't just weapons, they were statements, symbols of status, faith, science, and imagination. Each one whispers the same truth, that humans have always looked beyond the limits of their time, reaching for the impossible, and sometimes holding it in their hands. Because in the end, a sword doesn't just cut through armor, it cuts through time. Thanks for watching Forgotten Tech Files, where history's greatest mysteries get their spotlight. If you enjoyed this journey through ancient blades and lost technologies, hit that like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because next week we're uncovering another piece of the past that just shouldn't exist.